Gentlemen, Antonio here. Today I'm going to talk about male baldness, specifically hair loss treatment for men. I'm going to give you guys 3 tips on how you can deal with this situation. At the end of this video, I'm going to go into a story. I've got a friend here in the office, and at the age of 23, he started dealing with thinning hair. His hair started falling out. He dealt with male baldness, and he has actually created a company, which I think is pretty darn cool. You guys know I love entrepreneurs, so I'm happy to share his story. But me personally, my brother Steve, my younger brother Tom, both of them in their early 20s as well have dealt with hair loss. My father has lost it. I don't know how I seem to have hair on my head. When I'm looking around my family, it seems like everyone is losing it. And I have talked about over at Real Men Real Style, in the science of style, the most attractive, it's best to have a full head of hair if you want to be attractive. And after that is not thinning hair. No, thinning hair is way over here. It is perceived as the least attractive. Actually, it's better to be bald. But I realize not everyone wants to shave their head. A lot of guys are saying, Antonio, I'm just starting to lose my hair, or I'm thinning out in spots. So how can I deal with this? Because I don't want to shave my head. I would rather go back towards having a full head of hair. And with that, guys, let's get into it. So tip number 1 is have hair transplants. We're talking $10,000 per treatment, and you possibly every other year, you're going to look to, depending on how much hair loss you're having, you're going to probably want to go into a doctor. This is not something covered by insurance, and it is something that when you go into these places, it is painful. But basically, they're going into the back of your head here, and they're basically grafting it on right up here in the front. And you have to sometimes do this multiple times, so you can see how the costs go up. However, if you have completely lost all that hair, or if this is the only option for you, it may be an option that you want to explore. Hair loss tip number 2. Use a drug that has clinically been proven to actually have results. So Propecia is the one that I've seen studies on that it actually works. When you start to lose your hair, it's not going to help the hair grow back. What it's going to do is to stop the hair from falling out. Very important if you can catch this at an early point. But here's the deal, it's expensive. We're talking $75 to $100 a month, although it's relative. I mean, for you to be able to retain and to have a full head of hair, this may be something you want to explore, but understand that you're introducing drugs into your body. It can sometimes take up to 6 months to have an effect, if it has an effect. It doesn't work for every man. So it could be something you're using this drug and all of a sudden you realize after 6 months it's not having any effect and you've kind of thrown your money. But it's one of those deals, if it's worth it to you, you may want to explore this option. Hair loss tip number 3, use a microfiber in your hair to cover up thinning spots. Now, understand that this isn't going to help your hair grow back, but if you are just dealing with thinning hair and maybe you've had a graft or you've had some type of surgery up here and that you're not completely bald, you have basically hair that when you sprinkle this on, it can actually attach to, this may actually solve your issues. My friend Josh flew out from Los Angeles because he started this company, Hudson, Maine. You can check him out right here. Use code RMRS. You're going to get a sweet discount when you subscribe. But I can tell you guys, this is the real deal. I made him fly out here and I said, Josh, I need to see this in person. So check out this video and it's going to blow you guys away. Hey guys, okay, I've got Josh here. Thank you, Josh, for coming out from Los Angeles. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, and great hair, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Looks good. Now, did you guys see that video? Isn't that friggin' amazing? Okay, so I didn't believe it until I saw it in person. So thank you again for coming out. But how did you even get in? I mean, how did you help create Hudson and Maine? I mean, tell me a little bit about the backstory.
Yeah, so, I've always been a pretty self-conscious type of guy. Even in high school, I was that guy playing soccer. And when we played shirts and skins, I was that guy that was dreading, okay, I have to be skinned. So as I got into my early 20s and started losing my hair, I began to lose confidence. I got insecure.
And what in 23, right? That's about the age, but
yeah.
you know.
Yep, 22 or 23, I started losing my hairline.
Okay.
And so I was very insecure, and I thought to myself, man, this kind of stinks. It's devastating as a single guy in LA.
And when did you have surgery? I mean, because remember, point number one I talked about is hair transplant, and Josh has gone through that.
Yeah, I had my surgery when I was about 22 or 23. It was a very painful process. The actual process takes about a couple weeks to heal, and they cut a part of your scalp in the back. And so when they sew you up, you got a lot of aching going on for a couple weeks.
Sounds like fun, right, guys? Yeah.
When I did my hair transplant, the doctor would always say to me, hey, we've got these other products that you should probably try out and continue using.
Okay.
At the time, it was still fairly new, this hair fiber, but I had just spent $10,000 on this hair transplant. So now this doctor is asking me to pay more money for this hair fiber, which at the time was very expensive and not well known. He told me a bunch of celebrities use it.
Now, celebrities use this, I mean, we were talking about the story, because they're under these harsh lights.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a comedian, if you are under the camera, basically they're going to see the reflection of your head. Mm-hmm. So that's where this microfiber came out of, is these guys that basically need to look like they have a full head of hair and be able to cover these bright lights and have confidence when they're out there on stage, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so fast forward a couple years, I started to lose bits and pieces of my crown. And I was in need of another hair transplant. I didn't want to do that again. So I started researching and seeing what was out there, and I noticed that the hair fibers are becoming to be a little bit more popular. Mm-hmm. So here I am. Let me think of a way to create my own solution to the problem. And so I helped launch Hudson in Maine.
Yeah, you guys know I love entrepreneurs. So again, I'm going to link to them right here. Go check out this company. We've got the code RMRS, which if you use it, you're going to get a great discount when you subscribe. And this is, for a lot of guys, they maybe never have even considered this. Can you talk about like how it has helped you?
Right. I'll never forget the first time I ever showed it off to my best friends. I was sitting in their apartment. We were about to go out for a night in Santa Monica. Yeah. And I got all dressed up and walked down the steps, and my friend Stacy looks at me and she says, "What did you do?" And I kind of just sat there, and after 10 minutes she said, "Your hair."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing."
So that's a good transition. Let's talk about application. I mean, there's three steps to three simple steps, because you wanted to keep this simple. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you talk about, you can do this in about a minute if you've got, your mirrors, maybe 2 minutes if you're on the road. Mm-hmm. Simply sprinkle it in, step number one. Mm-hmm. Then you've got the hold spray, mm-hmm. which you apply and holds it in place. And then step three, when at the end of your day, shower, wash it out. How messy is this?
Right. So that was how messy it is. It's something that I was afraid of when I started using it myself. The actual answer, I was pleasantly surprised by the fact that even when you go to the gym, I thought, oh man, is this going to run while I'm on the treadmill? And it doesn't. It stays right in place. When you're sleeping on the pillow or sleeping over at a friend's house or on the couch, is it going to get all over my furniture?
Yeah.
It doesn't. It stays right in place. You do feel very naked without it. You get addicted to it. It's my obsession now. It's almost like brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
You do it every single day. You get in a habit, and you can't live without it.
Yeah, and I love your guys' company's approach to this is come in at a very fair price, and basically that's the whole thing with the subscription, guys. The guy doesn't have to worry. He's got 22 grams, which is more than plenty for 30 days. Basically, every 30 days you can get one of these delivered, so you never run out. And
right, and we do have a money-back guarantee as well.
Yep.
I'm so confident.
Shipping.
I don't think anybody's going to want to get off of it. I love it, and I don't see how any other guy I'm a big advocate. I'm not embarrassed about it, and it's awesome.
All right, guys, I'm going to link to him down in the comments below. But, this is a real company. This is a guy I've known for years. And I'm just happy to bring this company to you because I know so many of you guys have asked me about how can I deal with the solution. Go check out the support article as well. I'm going to link to that below, and I'll go into more details about, my other solutions and things like that. But otherwise, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.